6 months ago, my life changed.
Ow! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I felt a pop in my knee. I felt a pop in my knee.
2 weeks later, after convincing myself that I could train my way out of it, I found out that I fully ruptured my ACL, sustained a grade 2 sprain in my MCL, and tore my meniscus. Back then, I thought that the hardest part was going to be recovering physically, but what I didn't realize is that I was about to face a much harder challenge: rebuilding my relationship with myself, my identity, and everything that makes me who I am. Hi, I'm Lisa, and this is part 1 of my journey back to skiing. The lessons I learned, the challenges I face, and how the first 3 months after surgery changed me in ways I could have never expected. To understand why this injury affected me so deeply, you have to understand what skiing and being in the mountains meant to me. Last year, I underwent a deliberate identity shift where I changed my self-view from outdoor enthusiast to mountain athlete, which massively affected both my decision-making and my self-esteem. I realized it was who I always wanted to be, so that I became. Making this my identity became a series of interconnected projects, and I thrive on a project. How hard could I push my body while still understanding what it needed to progress? Goals and projects rooted in continuous improvement and skill development are my obsession. It's why I hold so tight to the physicality of skiing, a sport with an infinite ceiling, and why I love making progression videos so much. Why I love trying hard.
This is how I adjust my form when I'm skiing powder. Powder skiing is the best feeling in the world, but can be so incredibly frustrating when you don't understand how to navigate it. This is everything I've been doing to get over my fear and improve my ability to hit drops on my skis.
Let's talk trees. I'm a firm believer that getting comfortable skiing trees is one of the best ways to become a better skier. So here are my top 3 tips for your next tree line. It felt like after 30 years, I finally found myself. I spent every free moment exploring the North Cascades, climbing mountains, learning to scramble, training for the longest trail runs of my life, and completing a full year of turns all year. Enter 2026. I started working on my first ski film called Try Hard. I put down deposits for 2 mountaineering courses. I was starting to train for a 50K, and I was planning to summit Glacier Peak later in the summer. And in the blink of an eye, it was gone.
Everything that has been happening to me, everything that I've been working on, everything that I'm doing has kind of just been too good to be true.
Between getting injured and getting the results of my MRI, I wrote this in my journal. I'm under the mindset that bad things don't happen to me. It's only bad if I react that way. My job is to see every obstacle through positively and trust that I'm being taken care of. I know things happen because they are meant to, and I will always handle them with grace.
Good morning, everyone. I have a new ACL. I am in so much pain right now. Cheers to my Miralax. We're icing, we're watching Hacks, we're eating ice cream. Don't ask me if I've pooped, because I haven't. You guys, I'm pooping. I'm sh**. You know what I mean? It's day 5. I'm still sick. Everything feels like a monumental task right now. Who's ready to go out on the town? You. Ah! Not fall over. No blood clots.
You're dying.
This is how I go up the stairs. Ah! Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're fast today.
I know. Speed demon.
Please don't go for world records. Look at her go.
Looking back, I didn't have the foresight to think past those first few weeks of surgery, and I truly thought the survival mode of it all was going to be the hardest part. It wasn't. Reality set in around week 5. Physically, I was improving. Mentally, I wasn't. These are some excerpts from my journal. I was excited to write about a positive week, one where my energy levels actually started to stabilize and I could put forth more effort at the gym. One that was incredibly socially fulfilling, one where I got cleared to drive again and took myself to the mountains on a gorgeous day. But as I write this, I'm fresh off my first major meltdown of recovery. It feels crazy to dwell on loss after the week I just had, but in this moment, I must allow myself to exist in the space between gratitude and grief, acknowledging the progress I've made while still mourning what I can no longer do. June 5th. I am feeling so overwhelmed. I feel like I haven't accomplished anything. I went from fully rotting for 3 weeks being sick to finally feeling like a person, but needing to use my time and energy so sparing because I still have so little of it. I'm feeling so overwhelmed by having to optimize my recovery. I was so positive for so long. I'm exhausted by that. But I know if I let myself fall into hopelessness, it won't be a good look. I don't know what my purpose is right now, because this year was supposed to be about mountains. During my first phase of meltdowns, I kept coming back to one thing: my identity. I started asking myself, how do I carry my identity as a mountain athlete in a period of rest and intense rehabilitation? As I gradually reclaimed independence and freedom of movement, I found myself clutching onto any thread of athlete that remained. And at 6 weeks, I finally started to understand that all this doesn't make me any less of a mountain athlete. If anything, I thought it would eventually bring me closer to personifying what I believe a mountain athlete to be. Because what I was actually doing is using the knowledge, momentum, strength, and intuition I gained before I got injured to guide me. But I took it too far. While trying to hold on to my athleticism, I thought I needed to show how I could continue to increase my training volume and capacity for real life while still progressing in PT. I fell in love with calisthenics and decided that's where I was going to put my focus. But it came at a steep cost. I couldn't sleep through the night for over 2 weeks. My HRV was tanking, my resting heart rate was elevated. I didn't allow myself to properly recover even though the writing was on the wall. I thought my system would adapt like it had in the past, but the physiological toll of rehabbing a literal new ligament is just too strong, and I mistook my progression in PT as a sign that it was okay to keep going. Looking back on those weeks, I think I was trying to make up for the time lost in the initial part of recovery. And in that time, I'd wholly forgotten what it felt like to rest because my nervous system was so activated. I kept seeing people pushing through and training and thinking, why can't this be me? But no one talks about the price. So I had to formally accept that it was okay to change my mindset without sacrificing my identity. But in this phase, I achieved my first full revolution on the bike and immediately burst into tears in my meathead gym. I celebrated my 31st birthday, on which I finally got to ditch the crutches, and I finally got to start walking my dog in the mornings again. Enter week 12. My brain runs obsessive and I need something to latch onto. Usually it's an objective, race, skill, some sort of pursuit that gives me purpose and fuels my fire. Without it, I feel directionless and disconnected to some of the things I value most about myself. What I realized is how deeply I missed me. I missed my connection to my body. I missed my connection to nature. I think that week was especially hard because of what I couldn't bring myself to delete from my calendar. It was the week of my first alpinism course, which was a huge dream of mine.
I was supposed to be learning how to do all the things I've always wanted to know how to do.
And so I found myself obsessing over the wrong thing: Instagram. Instead of working towards my next objective, I was agonizing over analytics, the stupid algorithm, diagnosing why reel flopped, and comparing myself to people who were doing better on social media than I was. It was making me crazy, even though I know that's not what I was actually upset about. I kept asking myself when the grieving would stop, but I think I was in the hardest phase of recovery. At that point, even spending time in the mountains, which in theory should have brought me closer to myself, was just another source of grief. I had to find a way to redirect my fire. And so here I am, telling my story. The first 3 months have been an emotional and physical roller coaster, unlike anything I've ever experienced. I'm months away from skiing. I'm still probably months away from running. I'm still going to have hard days. I still miss who I was. But the only option is to fiercely move forward. I don't know how the story ends, but documenting it has given me purpose that I never thought I'd find. I'll see you in 2 weeks.